Your call may be monitored or recorded.
877-937-1039. All this week, we're talking your first job as kids hit the workforce this summer. Roger on the 1039 The Maverick app up in Richland County. What you got?
My very first job was paper carrier when I was a 5th and 6th grader, and rode my bike all across town from one end to the other. Got off my bike and dropped the paper in between the outside door and the inside door. And I had like 50 to 60 daily papers and about 80 on Sunday.
Oh, those Sunday papers are fat. Bet they were heavy, huh?
Well, that's the only day of the week I got to ride. Mom or Dad would take me in the car. And the paper was so big that I sat in the back and inserted the comics section into the rest of the paper. Small town, and I knew my route so well. They'd drop me off and I'd deliver about 3 or 4 papers and get back in the car and we'd go on to the next group.
I think paper boy, paper girl, that might have been in our era. That might be a lot of people's first jobs.
I wouldn't be surprised, yeah. I mean, that was back in the day before computers and stuff, so news on television or the paper was about the only way you had to really get news. Yeah, I had to get up at 5:30 every day of the week. That really instilled a work ethic that stayed with me, and I'm still a guy that gets up early in the morning.
Great stuff, Roger. Thank you so much for starting us off. Paper carrier, what you got? 877-937-1039 from Grove City. Tommy, we haven't heard from you for a while. What was your first job?
Hey, Woody, I worked through high school and for many years at the old Rax restaurants. Do you remember Rax, Woody?
I absolutely do. They were kind of like the thing before Arby's, right?
Oh, it was great. It was out on West Broad Street. I loved it. It was a great job. I love the people I worked with. One of the things I did is I closed at the end of the night. Fast food restaurants are all about cleaning up your restaurants. Well, one of the things we had to do is we had to drain the fryers of the hot oil, and 2 of us, because we put it in this big tub, would carry it out back and dump it into these 55-gallon drums.
Right.
And it would sit there until a provider came and emptied it. Well, one night, being the kid that I am, I was inquisitive. Me and a buddy, I said, I wonder what happens if we can cool this hot oil down before we dump it. He said, what are you thinking? I said, let's put some ice in it. So we had this big vat of hot oil we had used to fry French fries all day. Took a bunch of ice, put it inside of that. We were outside by the dumpster, and the thing bubbled like a big volcano all over the parking lot. Yes. At that point, I'm like, okay, how do I cover up the scene of the crime? So me and a buddy started scrubbing, and we scrubbed for 2 hours, did the best we could. The next day I walked into work, and the manager said, I asked around because the parking lot's a mess, and the story kept coming back to you. That was stupid. Get your butt out there, and you're going to get on your hands and knees and scrub that parking lot. That was my first job, Woody, and I never did that again, by the way.
That not great story. What do you have? First jobs right now.
The Ride Home with Woody. Call Woody now at 877-937-1039.